Welcome back. Our next guest is a Mohawk Nation chef using her talent to help showcase the traditional Indigenous foods of her culture through cuisine.
So here to help us share in a meal is owner and chef of Yawékon, Tawnya Brant. Welcome to the show, Tawnya. Thank you. Happy to be here. We're so excited to have you here because you've brought some amazing dishes for us to try today. And these are from your restaurant, Yawékon. It is Haudenosaunee fusion cuisine. So tell us, what is that fusion exactly?
Well, for me, Haudenosaunee cuisine is just, right now we don't have a cause for comparison, so every chef out there literally has their own cuisine. We don't have a history to fall back on, or we have cookbooks and things like that. Unfortunately, and even this day, recognizing truth and reconciliation, those are one of the things that us replacing our ancestral foods is that important. And for me, it's a link in the chain that's missing. We know language is important. We know building our family is important, but what about the food, right? So for Haudenosaunee cuisine, for me, it's just taking our ancestral foods, adding it to modern foods that we have and modern cooking technique, and just seeing what we come up with.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, yeah, let's dive right into the dishes you have brought today and start with this drink that you have made for us. It's a Cedar peach iced tea. So what can you tell us about this beverage and why is it so special?
Well, cedar tea, I think, is something we find that's kind of common when we think of Indigenous food. I wanted to recognize the area we're in, which is the Niagara region, and adding the peach in with it. Yeah, it's
so
time.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the season, and it actually goes back to our history for Mohawk and all nations with Six Nations, just our past and coming here after the American Revolution. One of the things that came after the War of 1812 is all of the orchards, and the Haudenosaunee people loved that. The apples, the peaches, like cherries, things that we didn't have before, and we were really instrumental, and I like to recognize that particular point in time for our people.
It's so good.
Tawnya, and it's maple sweetened, so no refined sugar.
Oh, that's nice too.
It's beautiful. Tawnya, you've also brought some traditional items today to the table. Can you talk about these items and what they mean to your community?
Yeah, so some of these are Haudenosaunee kitchen staples, I guess you would call them.
Cool.
This is a wash basket, so when we nixtamalize our corn, this is what we do. We mix it in an alkaline solution, so that's what this is a corn paddle. So if you can imagine maybe a pot like this, but really huge, doing big batches, that's what we use. And you can actually see some of the wood ash that's on there, because we use wood ash to do that nixtamalization process. Wow. Some of these are typical. This is a very typical Haudenosaunee style clay pot. This is a little baby one, so it's made with a micaceous clay. That's why it's glittery, and Mohawk people just really love shiny stuff. So they're really cute. So these are seed pods, right? So nice little cork.
This holds seeds.
Yeah. So in this one, this is our Brant blue seed that my family keeps. It's a snub-nose blue corn.
Wow.
And then there's some other
Beautiful
indications here. So that one's made out of birch. This one here too, it just has a little corn cob to keep it closed, right, for the stopper.
That's
so,
great.
so
I love that.
So yeah, they're just cute, and some of these are really reminiscent of Haudenosaunee designs, and this is the Sky World, right? On this one here.
Gosh.
So yeah, it's definitely represents a lot of our growing practices.
Yeah,
Love
keeps
that.
the
For sure.
seeds safe for next year.
Oh, they've found seeds like 600 years old and took them out and grown them.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Isn't that amazing? I love it.
We're going to continue with the food, and up next we've got venison and wild rice meatballs. So I'm a vegetarian, so I won't be partaking. However, I know that we've got a lot of significance in this dish, so tell us about that.
Yes, so we have a venison and wild rice meatball. On top of it, we made a blueberry sweetgrass barbecue sauce to go on top. So you kind of get this perfumey aftertaste that you get, and that's the sweetgrass coming through.
Oh, I do.
Do you get it? Do you get it after?
Tawnya, this is vegetarian, my version?
Yes,
Yeah,
I did bring you one, and that's a wild rice and mushroom meatball that we made. So that one's vegan there, so I wanted you to be able to try the barbecue sauce.
This barbecue sauce is so nice.
Oh my God.
We get a lot of compliments at it at Yawékon.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me
it's
about the
gorgeous.
rice.
The rice? Yeah, wild rice. Actually, this one was gifted to me. It's a hand-harvested rice. It's about an 80-year-old man named Jack, so we just call it Jack's rice.
Jack's rice.
Yeah, wild rice.
I feel honored to try it today.
Oh, really, like, he does about maybe 100 pounds a year. So I'm extremely thankful that through my channels that I can even get it. And I love to show people because what we only see is commercial or cultivated wild rice.
Yeah.
And this is totally something else on its own. It takes half the time to cook. It's not, you're not getting those sticks and things. You almost think it's white rice because so much of the chaff is taken off. So I really wanted to share that with the ladies that you can try something.
And you've also made a salad to complement the venison and the wild rice dish. I hear it's an uncut salad.
Yes, like a no-cutting salad, right? Because nobody wants to fool around with that, right? We want to keep it quick. So when we do that, it's just spring mix, a bunch of berries, and then we have a seed mixture on here, a little trilogy that we use at Yawékon. So it has pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are just like pure protein. Like, when you look at the seed and look at the fruit, the nutritional value is ridiculous compared to it, right? So we really want to work that in. I call this kind of a salad for people that don't like salad.
So good.
People like Lainey. Lainey doesn't like salad so much. Do you love it, Lainey?
The dressing is so good.
It's really something on its own, that's for sure.
Okay, Tawnya, you mentioned the dressing has something called Pawpaw in it, which I have never had before, but we do have some seeds here today that were sent to us from Forbes Wild Foods. Can you tell us what this is?
Pawpaw and peach vinaigrette is what we made with that there. Pawpaw, we have an example right here. These ones are from last season. They really are really nice and green when they're in season, but their season is so short. That's why you don't see them in grocery stores. Wow. So what they are is a subtropical plant that the Haudenosaunee people basically planted up the entire eastern seaboard. So they are kind of hard to come across. A long time ago, what people did was kids actually would go down rafts just along creek beds because that's where they like to grow and just pick them this time of year. But their season is literally like starts today.
Oh, wow.
So they're very late when they come out, and just the flavor is like a mix of mango and pineapple. So it's a very tropical. You just make what is it doing here, right? It doesn't make sense. Why is it here, right? And that's why, because it's a tropical plant, and you can see the huge seeds that are in them. So it's a task to do it. It's a very nice custard-like material.
It's so creamy.
They're gorgeous.
So if you smell it, it's so tropical.
So
it makes it.
amazing.
So what is it doing here?
Tawnya, we only have a few minutes left. So we want to make sure we get to this sweet dessert you've brought. It looks gorgeous.
so
Tell us about it.
So I brought you a blue corn cake, and it has a wild blueberry buttercream on top. I definitely want to touch on just blue corn, right? Corn in Haudenosaunee culture, it was about 80% of our diet. So you can't really do anything without having some corn in it. So I definitely wanted to do that and highlight the berries. But yeah, like I had somebody hand harvest and gift me some blueberries from Saskatoon just a couple of days ago.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what we have in the icing there for you. So I was
Listen,
happy to bring
Tawnya,
that.
at your restaurant, you proudly offer menus and services in the Mohawk language, which helps to further service your community. What does it mean for you to be able to continue these traditions in food for future generations, including your own kids?
Yeah, for me, it's just representation, right? Knowing that we can go into a store, we see people that look like us, they sound like us, they talk slang like us, but being able to have the visual, right? We have language students come in and love to come and stump us and not talk any English. But for me, it's just that visibility and knowing that we're representing and being represented, and most importantly, that our kids see that. Because when they grow up, we want them to be strong people with a lot of confidence. And this is definitely building on that, and that's all I can hope for my boys.
I love that. Tawnya, thank you so much for bringing these phenomenal dishes today. Thank you so much. We're going to continue to enjoy, but we'll be back right after this.
Hey there! Wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.